Welcome and thank you for tuning in to Cougar Spotlight. I'm your host, Nick Iacovo. This show is a deep dive into all the wonderful sports teams here at Caldwell University, featuring behind-the-scenes footage, exclusive interviews, and in-studio analysis. This episode is going to be focused on women's soccer. Caldwell's women's soccer program has quietly been one of the most consistent teams this campus has put on display. Last season, Caldwell finished with a record of 7 wins, 4 losses, and 5 ties in head coach Sammy Adjei's first season in the head role here at Caldwell. I had the unique opportunity to speak with Coach about his story to Caldwell and about how he feels coming into year 2. Along with that, I had the pleasure of interviewing 2 standout seniors, Melissa Martinez and Isabella Vitella. This is Cougar Spotlight Women's Soccer.
Caldwell and the soccer program and Coach Sammy are really understanding of everything, so I don't find it too difficult in terms of balancing out my work, but it's really nice to be recognized.
Welcome back, everyone, to Cougar Spotlight Women's Soccer. My guests at this time, Melissa Martinez and Isabella Vitella. Thank you two so much for joining me today. First of all, let me just ask, how are you two doing today?
I'm doing all right. Kind of tired and sore.
Yeah, same. I had an extra sleep today, so that was nice after a lot of days of no sleep. So that's really nice. Yeah, I'm doing good.
That's great to hear. And obviously, these are 2 seniors on our Caldwell women's soccer team. Starting off with you, Isabella, you are a back-to-back conference all-academic team member. What does that mean to you to be named as the CACC all-academic team?
It means a lot. It's really nice to look back at it and see, what I'm capable of in terms of balancing academics and athletics. Obviously, it's really hard to be a student athlete, but I feel like Caldwell and the soccer program and Coach Sammy are really understanding of everything, so I don't find it too difficult in terms of balancing out my work, but it's really nice to be recognized.
That's great to hear. Now, Melissa, you've had quite the journey to get here to Caldwell. You started out at Union College. You were a first-team All-Region and Conference member there, and you recorded 5 goals and 3 assists last year when you got to Caldwell. Did you find the transition coming from Union College to here easy, or did you find there were some difficulties early on?
Yeah, so obviously the level at Union College was obviously different from how it is here at Caldwell. It's more advanced over here. So I did find my first few games to be a difficult transition kind of. But as I went through the season, I found my feet and how to perform well against the teams here at CAC. So that's how I got the 5 goals and 3 assists, because as I went on through the season, I did better. Yeah.
That's great to hear. Another thing that I also looked at is when you were at Union College, you recorded a team-high 13 goals and 7 assists, amazingly, in just 14 games. How do you feel when I just said that? How does that sink into you?
It feels really good. Obviously, I'm very proud of how I did over there. It is an easier kind of conference, but that's still an accomplishment. And I just look forward to getting higher than what I did last year here at Caldwell. So, yeah.
And as mentioned before, you did record 5 goals and 3 assists when you got here to Caldwell. That ranked 6th in the conference last season in goals, and you ranked 10th in assists. So we're very proud of you. Isabella, I'm going to move on to you now, because this was something that I found quite fascinating. You have started in 35 straight games and have a career total of 3,385 minutes played here at Caldwell. What has been the secret to how you've been able to play for so long and have been so consistent in every minute you've played?
Obviously, it takes a lot of hard work, so I obviously can't lie about that. But in terms of just playing as many minutes as possible, it comes with, a good diet, working out constantly, remembering my competition, obviously. But I don't know, I guess during the games, I really don't think about actually playing. I kind of black out, as weird as it sounds. Just because the adrenaline's rushing, so much emotion. So it does take a lot out of my schedule, but it's all worth it in the end. So I don't do it for myself, but I do it for the girls.
That's awesome to hear. We're very, very proud of both of you. Last but not least, as we head into 2024, obviously Coach Sammy Adjei is going into year 2 of the head coach here at Caldwell University. How did you feel about how last season was with his debut here, and what are you two looking forward to the most coming into this season?
I would say what I'm looking forward towards the most later on is really just having a higher standard. With Coach Sammy, when he came in, we did place the top 4, which is why we're able to play the quarterfinals at our home last year. Obviously, with Sammy, like, it is a lot more demanding in terms of work, but it will be worth it in the end, and all good things come out of it that are going to be good. And we just know that intentions are good, and as long as we're able to reciprocate the same respect back that he gives us to us, then we know it's all going to be worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Everything. I agree with everything that Bella said. Also, he got a lot of new recruits that are good. So every single one of them can help us out on the field. And I feel like that gives us a better chance at winning the CAC and everything like that.
That's awesome. Last thing, I know I just said we had one last question, but this is a bonus one for you. What are your personal expectations for this season? What do you two personally look to achieve coming into this year?
Yeah, so personally, I definitely want to be a person to help out the team. I know it's most important for us to get to the end and like win the CAC as a whole, but I also do want to get a higher goal record than I did last year and just help out my team in that way and just work harder than I did last year.
I would say for me personally, I obviously want to do as good as I did last year, but looking ahead into the future, I do want to be recognized by the conference in terms of my athletic ability. So obviously being recognized as probably like Defender of the Week would be a great goal. Maybe Defender of the Year would be amazing. But in terms of leading the team and being a captain, I just want to be there for the underclassmen and make sure that when we leave that they'll have a good step in terms of next year when they play.
Those games where we tied, where we thought we could have just got the result at the end there. So a lot of it is a mindset for us and just going into games saying, hey, we got to go in and get the 3 points.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Cougar Spotlight Women's Soccer. My guest at this time is the head coach, Sammy Adjei. How are you doing today, Coach?
Doing well, man. Thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you for being here. So first of all, let's start off with a little bit of reflection. Last season, your first season here at Caldwell, you had a record of 7 wins, 4 losses, and 5 ties. So just based on that and the way the season ended, how do you hope to improve going into year 2?
I think for us, the biggest thing was just switching our mindset a little bit from being an underdog team to a team that just sees ourselves as a team that should be dominant, right? So for us is a switch in mindset and also just being able to close out some of those games where we tied, where we thought we could have just got the result at the end there. So a lot of it is a mindset for us and just going into games saying, hey, we got to go in and get the 3 points.
You recently were just ranked, your team has been ranked 5th in the coaches poll for the conference. What does that mean to you?
Absolutely nothing, to be honest. We were ranked at 9th last year, and then we finished 3rd, and then this year we're 5th. We don't really read too much into that. We have our own expectations internally, and that's where that's the standard we hold ourselves to. But it's just one of those things where we don't focus too much on that.
That is indeed. And for those of you who do not know, this is not Coach's first time in this conference. You were actually at Bloomfield College from April of 2020 to March of 2023. And you actually led Bloomfield to the second best record in school history. It was the best record they've had since 2005. What did that mean to you for your coaching career?
It was huge, man. I think anytime you take over a program like that and you can uplift it, it gives you more confidence and trust in what you're doing. So it was a really good time with good people, and I'm glad I had that experience at Bloomfield because it's only made me a better leader.
How difficult was it for you to leave Bloomfield? You're leaving Bloomfield. You're going to, I guess you could say, a rival school because we are in the same conference as Bloomfield. How difficult was that move for you to go from Bloomfield to Caldwell?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, when you work in a place for as long as I did at Bloomfield, you build relationships with the people there, and they become like family. So, it was very difficult to leave in terms of that, but, family always stays family regardless of distance. So, I'm still very close to my Bloomfield people. At the same time, coming into a program that was well established for several years. Coach Nate did a great job while he was here. And so for me, it was about just taking that next step in my coaching career and just testing myself out in a different program.
That's awesome. Something that's also very awesome that I found is you were actually an Olympic development program coach from 2020 to 2022. And for those of you who do not know, this man played professionally. He played professionally for the New York Red Bulls and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, the Næstved Bold Club in Denmark. So my question to you, Coach, is describe how it felt for you playing professional soccer. What was it like playing on that big stage?
Huge blessing, man. It's a lot of hard work, but it's a huge blessing. I was born and raised in Ghana, and the goal was always to take soccer as far as I could. So I've been blessed to be able to see the world and live out my dreams a bit, just playing soccer. And I learned a lot. I had some tremendous coaches along the way who all helped me develop. So it just helped me, I think, become all better all arounder in terms of like as a coach and as a leader. So it was a great experience. I'm very glad to have been through those things and had those experiences, and now I'm just looking forward to doing the same at the coaching level.
Did you always feel like when you were starting to get into coaching, did you always feel like you being the head coach of a men's program was always sort of the dream job that you've always wanted to have?
To be honest, it started as just wanting to give back. I have my own company, Soccer Virtuoso, which is based here and also in Ghana, and it was always just going back to help the kids who maybe didn't have the same opportunities I had. And then, as I kept going and developing as a coach, I realized, hey, maybe this is something I can actually do at a higher level. So, from there, it's about getting the education, getting those experiences, and then seeing where it takes you.
This is going to be my next question. This is a big one I've been meaning to ask you. When players come around and they try to say, we have these lofty expectations. Oh, we're going to win the conference. Oh, we're going to go to nationals. And when you have other people who doubt those expectations by people saying, I don't think they're ready yet. They're still a year away. They're a recruiting class away. How do you as a coach find a way to get your players motivated, to subvert those expectations, to make it be like, no, we are ready and we are the team now. We don't need another recruiting class. This is our championship team. How do you get that mindset into players?
I think a lot of it is, just being able to have realistic expectations. And I think a lot of it is setting small goals in order to achieve that big goal. So for us, we just look at it as, can we get 1% better every day? And if we can do that, then we know come game day, we're going to be able to step up and empty the tank out on the field. So for us right now, it's, hey, we got to make sure we continue to gel throughout non-conference. And then conference play comes, we got to make sure we're in a really good spot for playoffs. And then from there, it's about winning 3 more games. So we just take it one game at a time.
And finally, you reaching that CACC title would be a huge accomplishment here for Caldwell women's soccer. What would that mean personally to you to win the title here?
That would be tremendous. That would be a huge, huge achievement. I'm a winner at heart, and so for me, everything I do, I want to be the best, and so being able to do that here at Caldwell with the support system I have around me in the department that I'm in, and with all the girls that I'm coaching and my assistant coaches, I just think it will mean the world to all of us because once again, on a daily basis, this is what we're working towards.
On behalf of Athletics and Communication and Media Studies, thank you for watching. Be sure to follow our social media for more updates and upcoming shows. I'm Nick Iacovo, and this has been Cougar Spotlight.